Hi, hello. Welcome back to another exciting episode of the Nincompoops podcast. It's me, Paul, as well as my good friends Jim and Dean. Hello,
It's
guys.
me.
Hey, welcome to episode 53.
50.
50, right?
Yes. It was the case last week, but we have done basically an episode for every week of a total year. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yep.
Is there like 53 weeks in a year?
52.
52.
52? Oh, okay. That's a
Yeah.
little bit of trivia I didn't know.
Really?
No, I didn't know.
Next thing you'll tell me that you didn't know there are 24 hours in a day.
Right.
No, I know the 24 hours. I know the 365 days. I just didn't know the 52 weeks thing. I've never
If
curious enough
that
to count.
shocked you, there are 12 months in a year.
No,
I
no, it
know.
doesn't. Don't you patronize me.
There
I
is
just
this
didn't,
past
I just
12
didn't know
months
there
in
were
a year.
I just didn't know there were 52 weeks.
We're off on a good start, huh?
Yeah.
It's, wouldn't it normally make more sense that to be like 48? Yeah, four weeks in a month, and there's 12 months. Wouldn't that be like 48? Wouldn't that make more sense? Why 52? Where's
Well,
the?
because there are 30 days in each month, and and roughly that adds up to 360, with a little bit more, obviously, because there's some months have 31 days, so
Yeah.
that's
Okay.
why. Yeah.
There's like extra.
The
Those
12
extra
months
couple
is
days.
the 12 months is totally arbitrary, though. You could have it so that you I don't know, have like a month every uh 20 days or something. Like, but I think they just cut it off at around 30 days per month for whatever reason.
And who thought it was a good idea to add like 30 an extra day? Why does it have to be like all 31 and 30 and 31? Why does it switch off? And then
Someone
February gets fucked.
someone chose a week to be 7 days too. Like, you ever think of that? Someone said like, "Hey, let's make it seven instead of like there are 10 days in a week or something." You know,
That is very true.
like
That is very true.
it's not like it's biological where humans are like instinctively that once it's 7 nights, it's a week, and then there are 52 of these. You know, like all this is made up if you really think about it. Like, it doesn't really matter that much.
I mean, isn't that what life is? Isn't that what a society is? Isn't this all made up?
Yep.
Like,
Everything.
it could have been 5 days a week for a clean number. You know,
Yeah, it could have been.
for a total of 73 weeks.
If we
but-
had like 5 days in a week, would you still be supportive of like a 4-day work week?
No, a 2-day work week. 2 days for the weekend, one off.
One off.
Yeah.
5 days. So there's like
You do
Well,
3 days on, 2 days off, or something. That might work. Because then,
I
in a span of okay, hold on, let me find the common denominator here. So in a span of 5 weeks, of our weeks, they would
Uh-huh.
work. They would work basically 21 days of those 35, but with our current system where you work 5 out of 7, it's 25 out of 35. So with the 3 days, 2 days off, yeah, you actually work less. So yeah, with 3 days on, 2 days off every 5-day week, then you'd be working less. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we kind of fucked up, man. We gotta hit the rewind button, make the week 5 days instead of 7 days. You know.
That would make time go by so much
Yep.
faster too.
Yeah, but I'm still in favor right now of building a teleporter right now. That feels more useful in my life right now than a time machine.
If you rewind, you can use the knowledge you have now to build a teleporter earlier.
I could. That's very true. But it uses up so much gas in the meantime. I just don't want to drive like an hour to Dean's house, to hang out, and drive an hour back. I just want to teleport.
Yeah,
Build like a portal, man.
you know
Solid
what?
basement.
Instead of driving, we can save gas by doing this easier method. Okay, we at our side and Dean on his side, we will get a spoon and collectively dig a tunnel towards each other until we finally meet up, and then we use that tunnel.
Why a spoon? We have shovels. We live in a society. We have technology. Didn't you watch SpongeBob and Patrick? We
Yeah,
have shovels.
shovels are heavy. Spoons
Why
are
is
lightweight. We'll get there. We'll get there with spoons. All right. If
there's so
everyone
much
wants.
there's so much less surface area to pick up dirt?
Yeah, but everyone has a spoon and everyone has a shovel. So
You can buy a shovel. Go buy one. Just go to like Osh or like any other department store. Go to like Home Depot
see,
or
you already
Lowe's.
make it more work than it is. Okay, let's just use the spoon. It's already decided.
I can't
We're
believe this.
we're
I
using a
can't.
spoon.
No, this is a dumb idea. We're not even like going over the fact like, oh, we're just gonna dig an underground tunnel to each other's house. Like that's like an hour drive away.
I mean, we're not going to do that with your attitude right now, okay, Mister? You need a change in perspective if you want to get this underground tunnel done. Okay?
I don't want to change perspective. This perspective is dumb. It's dumb. It's not even like we can't even like just go there. We're still in a straight line. Instead of like driving an hour, it's just
You're-
like, or now we're gonna be walking like 2.
You need to think outside the box. You're not doing that. All right.
We're literally
take some creative minds
we're
classes.
literally underground. We're literally inside the box.
Okay, if you find redstones, you can make a
Yeah, you can make a mine
whole
cart.
system.
I was just thinking with like thinking outside the box and just imagine like what if our world was like Minecraft? We're just a giant cube.
Yeah. Dude.
It's
Yeah.
all a box. We can't leave.
Everyone was wrong. It's not a round Earth. It's not a flat Earth. It's a square box Earth.
Square box Earth.
That's what it is.
I mean, technically, if our Earth is a square, it's a cube. Technically, it's flat. It's just flat on like 6 sides.
You're not wrong.
No.
Yes, I'm not wrong. That's definitely true. You think somewhere there's like a planet out there, out in the universe that's like a square or like a different dimension? It's like a cube
I hope so.
or maybe an oval.
Probably not.
An opulent, a triangle. Holy shit, the Illuminati. That's the Illuminati planet. It's like a giant triangle or a pyramid.
Isn't the reason why is round? Everything's like almost round in space. It's because of like space pressure or what the fuck it is. Kind of squeezes like the shape of everything into a round shape.
You mean gravity?
You think gravity exists in space, Paul? No.
Gravitational pull? That's why
No.
we rotate around the sun.
The pressure.
No. The vacuum pressure.
Vacuum pressure.
Yeah. Do you not know how that works?
I'm not an astronaut. I'm not a spaceman.
Yeah.
Looking at the stars at night is cool.
There's literally no such thing as gravity in space, but there is like vacuum pressure, and that's why planets are in this shape it's in, because the pressure kind of squeezed like the rock of the planets into a round shape. I mean, obviously, it's not like a perfect circle, because if you people didn't know, that's Earth is like.
What do you mean, you people? What's that supposed to mean?
Here it is, Paul. Gang, this is always a identity issue. With this, all right. Look at this triggered lib over here, everybody. Look at him.
What do you mean, you people? What is that supposed to mean?
He's just sensitive.
I just want to know.
He's just sensitive. Okay,
What
ignore
kind of
Paul.
people?
All right, but
You mean people who are ignorant of space?
But like, I think the pole
The
ends
Earth
of
people,
Earth are like
the mole people, the Earth people
are not
rise
perfectly
against
round.
these
It's
space
like
fascists.
it's kind of like more straightened out near the north and south poles or some shit of the planets. I
Yeah.
don't know, something like that. But that's
Yeah.
pretty cool. I'm gonna just talk over you, ignore you talking over me. So yeah, yeah, that's the reason why a lot of things are roundish in space. The more you know, space.
Got you.
But yeah, space is cool. When I was
Space
younger,
is cool.
I was like fascinated with all the different planets in the solar system. And back in the day, for you newer kids, Pluto was a planet back then. So you had to know all 9 planets.
I know.
And now it got deranked into.
How did you feel where were you on that day when you found out that Pluto wasn't a planet anymore?
I saw it on PBS and I was like, this can't be. I learned this in school. Well, how could it be demoted? I watched a Magic School Bus episode about this, and it was a planet back then. But
It
yeah,
was a planet back then.
but yeah, it got demoted, and I was like, what? What? 8 planets? That can't be. There can only be 9 planets.
Dude,
What's
dude,
this
dude,
new
dude.
number?
Did you know that the Space Magic School Bus episode was literally the very first episode of the very first season of the Magic School Bus?
Oh, really?
That was the opening show, or that's the opening episode of the entire show. And the kid dies, or he almost tries to kill himself on the very first episode of the Magic School Bus. Remember that?
I don't remember. I just know they went to different planets.
There was a kid. I forgot what his name. I want to say his name was Arnold. He has like, is that that orange haired ginger kid with glasses?
Yeah, I mean he
The
if
kid
he
who-
did die, he came back because he had no soul.
The kid who was like, man, I should have stayed home today. He's like on planet Pluto, or not planet. Well, on Pluto. It was a planet at the time when the episode was made. On Pluto, I forgot. There was like his sister or something. It was like, man, she was very obsessed with like collecting moon rocks or something, or claiming planets like a space warlord. I don't remember.
Oh
the
yeah,
exact plot.
and he like tried to get one, right?
I don't know. I think he was just obsessed with like collecting space somethings, and he was like, you know, if you don't get rid of this addiction, and don't come back home now, I'm gonna kill myself. And she was like, you wouldn't do it, and he was like, I'll do it. And then he takes off his space helmet, and then his like entire head just like freezes, because that's what happens in space. Is when you take off your helmet, your entire head just like turns into a block of ice. And then they're like, no. They take, and then they're like, no, we need to get him back onto the bus and then fly back to Earth. And then he just comes off with the cold instead. But the kid almost tries to kill himself in the very first episode of Magic School Bus. That's another bit of trivia right there.
That's more trivia than I know about Magic School Bus. I just remember watching that in school, and like I vaguely remember like anything I watched. The only one I remembered was the space one, because you know space is cool. So I was like, oh, okay, this is cool. They're going to different planets and shit.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember the space one, and the only other one I remember is when they went to like some person's body. And
Oh
they're
wait,
like-
actually, I remember one. I vaguely remember one more. It was like the one about colors. That explained why colors the way they are and shit. It was like there was like a fucking debate on whether the name of the color was purple or violet, and they're like, it's violet. No, it's purple. And that was a thing back then.
I don't remember ever seeing that one. Maybe I didn't watch it.
Yeah, but I think
I didn't give a shit about colors.
no one calls that. No one that calls purple violet anymore, right? Everyone just like that purple.
Well, I
But,
guess
yeah.
I guess we know who won that episode debate then.
Yeah, you know.
It's purple. Purple Riders Unite. Rise
Yeah.
up. Purple.
The purple party beats the violet the violet vanguard.
Now it's just a flower. Or like a very good anime.
Yeah, called
That's it.
Violet Days,
No, it's Evergarden.
right? Oh,
No, it's Evergarden.
okay. I vaguely remember that show.
That was
I
a really
just
good show.
remember-
It was a really
I
good
just-
show. Almost made me cry.
Well,
I think it was like episode 7. Almost made me cry.
yeah,
I think we watched it at Dean's house that one time. Violet Evergarden.
yeah, we did, but
Yeah,
I think we got it done in like a day or something.
yeah,
was, like,
we
all of a
we
sudden.
binged watched it.
Yeah. Well, I enjoyed it, but it didn't make me cry though. I think when it comes to like shows making me cry, like I don't know. I don't cry at a lot of shows. Like I think it's because they just don't hit the right note sometimes. I don't know. But it's a lot easier to make me laugh than to cry. But then with anime, it's like it's hard for anime to make me feel anything other than hype, you know?
Yeah, Violet Evergarden was the closest anime to ever make me almost cry. I didn't cry. I was like close. I was like borderline. I was like feeling it. I remember when Anohana was a lot more hyped and a lot more new when that came out. I had a couple friends in community college. They were like, "Let's go watch Anohana, Paul. It's gonna make you cry." And spoiler, it didn't make me cry. I thought it was, I couldn't lie. This is gonna be a hot take. I kind of thought the ending was kind of dumb. And that for Anohana.
I don't even remember the.
I enjoyed Hana. I just
I
I
enjoyed it.
think
I just thought the ending was dumb, and that's when all the other guys were crying. I was like, "This is stupid."
well, I mean, I didn't think the ending was dumb. I just think that the part that was dumb is how the weird like romance between the spoiler dead girl and the MC, even though she's been long dead. That was kind of weird. Um, and I don't know, I the way that relationship was kind of weird to me, but it wasn't that bad as the series progressed. But yeah,
Hey,
oh
he was just a he was just a necrophilia kind of type of guy.
yeah.
You're saying he didn't have a crush on the ghost girl until after she died.
Yeah.
He was like, "No,
She's still
Yeah.
that turns me on."
When she was awake, he's like, what's her name? Menma or some shit? Menma
It's
who? And then
Menma. Yeah, it was
as soon
Menma.
as she died, he's like, damn, you looking kind of fine, girl. Gee, that
like a
pale ass
corpse.
skin. And the fact that every time I try to touch you, it goes right through you. Love me some of that.
I remember the orange-haired girl was kind of hot though in that show. You guys remember pigtails? Kind of. Was it pigtails? I
Vaguely.
don't remember. Vaguely. I just remember the girl that had a crush on the MC, but then got cucked by dead ghost girl.
Oh yeah, there's like so. Yeah, that's another thing I didn't really care for about that show. Like the whole like love, where the fuck it was. Like I forgot how many people were there, so I don't remember what shape would it be. But like every character was into another character, and then and I don't know. I guess that was like a part of the show that was like, oh, like they had like a past they need to overcome together or some shit. But then
Yeah, I think there was like 6 characters in total.
yeah, but then I don't know. I felt like the romance, like the love hexagon, whatever the fuck it was kind of. I think that too much. That took too much of the show, rather than them focusing on like just basic ass, like just drama with each other, rather than just being like, oh man, I love that person, but that person loves this person, that person loves the other person, and no one here is happy, and then we need to overcome that. I don't know. I feel like that show could have been a lot better, because then if it was better, if it was done better, I would have been more willing to rewatch it. But that show, I've watched it once, and I've never really cared to watch it again.
Yeah,
Unlike
same.
unlike some other similarly sad shows, I'm like, okay, I might not get like the sad feeling from the first time I watched it again, but I'll still watch it because I enjoyed it that much. But with Anohana, I don't care to watch that twice.
I mean, there's like some shows that I think if you watch it the first time, it's not that great. But if you watch it a second time, you're like, oh, okay, I kind of get it now. Like, there's some shows I think you have to watch multiple times to get. And same thing, I just never really felt like watching Anohana again, just because I felt like at least half the cast, I was like, I don't care. These like, I get like vibes of a silent voice. And we're going to be spoiling a lot of anime shows you guys haven't watched in the audience. Like Silent Voice. They're like most of the cast besides the 2 main characters in that show, I did not give a fuck about. Actually, quite despised and hated. And I was like, I don't care. We could do away with these characters.
I remember in the Silent Voice, I just hated the glasses girl. I forgot her name, but she was like pretending like she wasn't a bully or was a part of the bullying, but in fact
Did she wear glasses? I don't remember.
I think she wore glasses. Yeah.
All I remember, she had like black hair.
What?
She had black hair, right?
No, I think she had like yellowish hair. Or
What? I can't. Wait. Oh, are you talking about the one who's like, oh, I am innocent. I'm just trying to be nice. I am good girl. But
but then she just ignores the bullying and
oh
acts like
yeah.
I
remember.
think
I remember her.
She was my least favorite character in that show. Like
Yeah.
or that movie. Even though there's some like actual bully characters who are much more manipulative and shit. Like
a lot more open about their bullying.
Yeah, like the black-haired girl, for example, she was like a total bitch. But I respected her more for it because she was like open about being a bitch. Whereas with the other girl, she was like, "Oh no, there's nothing wrong with me. I'm not the mean one here. I haven't done any bullying. I'm nice. I've done nothing but nice things to everybody." It's like, fuck off. Like you just turned a blind eye when it was convenient for you, and I hated her more for it.
Yeah,
and unlike you, I haven't read the manga, so I don't know like if she gets worse over like after the where the movie is. But yeah, I hated her a lot.
Well, I'll just spoil the manga. it doesn't. Most of the characters from the movie, they don't change. They're still pieces of shit. Or they probably they probably got better to some people. To me, they're like, nah, they're the fucking same. I don't give a shit. I think the only guy that changed was like that one random new guy that everyone made friends with when they got older in high school. That new guy. They're like,
Was it the guy that was like, "Oh, I'm interested in being friends with you" or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the movie, he was like also like kind of a bitch, and I'm like, oh, fuck off. This guy sucks too. But then the manga is like, okay, I like you. He turns around. I'm like, okay, I like this guy. But he's the only one. He's the only one who got redeemed in the manga in my eyes.
Mm.
Yeah. Everyone else like.
I'm assuming you're
sucks.
excluding the deaf girl and the MC, right?
Yeah, obviously those are only two I gave a
Okay.
shit about in both the movie and the manga.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
But for all the other side characters in the
Nah.
group, they
Nah.
all
From what I remember reading while at work while doing security is that they felt like the same and I did not care.
Mm.
I just wanted a romance between the main two characters. That's it.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, so I was like hyped for the movie because I saw the trailer like a year or two before it came out, and I saw it, I was like, oh, dude, this seems like a really sweet, like sad romance movie. You know, this looks pretty good. Like the art, like the art was really nice, really attractive. You know,
Yeah.
like it looked gorgeous. And I was like, I'm excited for the movie when it comes out. And when it comes out, I expected the romance between the MC and the deaf girl to play a much larger world than it did. And then it kind of mounted to like one scene. If I remember correctly, I might have this wrong. I believe she tries to confess, but there's fireworks or some shit. Was that the reason? Like
No. That was the one spoilers again. That was one. This fireworks is when she tried to kill herself.
Oh, okay. No. She tried to confess, but then like he didn't understand her because she was trying to speak the words rather than.
Yeah, he was like, I was like, what are you saying? Like because she tried to like speak the words, and he's like, the moon. And I was like, I don't speak Japanese. I don't speak very good Japanese. So I don't know whatever she's ski or moon. Actually, it could be it. I don't know what moon is in Japanese, so it could be like similar to ski.
Yeah,
and he was like,
the same as Suki, but with the Su.
yeah, Sue. And she just kept saying that. He's like, the moon? And she was like, no, god damn it. And then she was like, no, fuck this. I'm gonna go kill myself. I can't confess my love.
And yeah, and then like the romance never popped up again, and it focused more on like the mental health issues that she had and him and all that. But like, which wasn't bad. I still enjoyed the movie overall, but I thought the romance was going to be a bigger part of it. But it was just, and after that part where she tried to confess with him, it was just gone after that. And I was like, oh, okay, this is that was not an accurate trailer of what the movie was going to be about, but you know.
I mean, that's how they get you. They know their target demographic. They just know everyone loves romance, and so
everyone loves shipping characters. That is true.
Yeah.
Yep, indeed. The people do that in real life too. It's like shipping real life people. In most cases, it's weird, but then there's like.
I mean, it depends, right? Like if it's like if let's say you, Paul, and a girl are like friendly with each other, and then me and Dean can tell that you guys are both. You guys kind of like each other, but you guys haven't made the move. Like none of you guys have made a move. I think it's more okay for us to ship you guys then. But if it's like you and the girl have like no feelings for each other, you guys are just platonic friends, and we're like, man, I shipped those two too hard. Then it would be kind of weird. Like,
well, yeah, but that's like the traditional real life shipping. I'm more talking about like online internet personalities, like two different entertainers or influencers or YouTubers.
Oh yeah,
people shipping that.
Yeah, that's also very weird because the thing about that is that it's really easy because I'm guilty of this to some degree where like the people you watch you kind of treat them as kind of like a friend that doesn't know who you are at all, you know?
Yeah.
But so people get lost in that they're like, oh, I see these two people interacting all the time, and so I want them to get together, and then it gets a little weird, especially if you have no idea what their relationship is like offline or off the screen or whatever, or behind doors. Like they could just be friends. Like like for example, the offline TV group. You guys probably know a few of the people who are part of that circle. Like when people ship those, it's kind of it's like mostly harmless, but it's like it can go a little too far where you're like, hey,
I think I know what online TV is, but
offline TV. It's like
in case I don't.
you've heard some of these names. It's like Pokimane,
Oh, okay.
Valkyrae, Sakuno, those people. Like,
Okay. All right. So yeah.
A parent. Yeah, I know them online TV friend guys.
online TV.
I'm 99% sure I know who these people are, but on the off chance that I'm not, and maybe it's like a VTuber group or something. I'm just gonna ask just in case.
Like when they ship those, like when people ship them, like it's mostly harmless, but then like but people kind of go overboard and get annoying to the point where they had to like tell their fans to buzz off. So some people can take it too far, but yeah, just depends on how serious you're shipping them, and and whatever. I guess. Yeah.
I can't make any comments on that because I don't really watch offline TV.
I mean,
obviously, for my question, I'm like, who are they?
Well, like, okay, here's one that you might understand. Like, Crystal and Kyle that we watch. Some people ship them. I think that's super weird because like
that's definitely super weird. If not from the simple fact that like Crystal is married, she has kids, and I think Kyle has a girlfriend. Maybe not. But even then, even if he didn't, it's like it's definitely weird because one person is in a relationship.
Even if they're both single, it'd be kind of weird just because like, well, on air, this is like professional. Like, hey, we talk about politics and stuff all the time. This is what we do for our show. But then like to ship them is like, well, that's not really what the show's about. Like they're talking about this. Don't try to like insert some weird fantasy that you have these two people you like listening to. Because I've seen that a few times, and I'm like, all right, you need to stop with that because
I mean, I haven't looked at the comments too much whenever new episodes come out, but I think they were coming out pretty early on when the shows first started. I don't know if they're still there or not. I hope not. I haven't really noticed or seen on the off chance I have.
Well, yeah. Well, regardless, like I've seen some shipping of those two, and I think that's like a little much because they're not even like showing like personal details of their lives either. They just talk about what they like talking about that affects the real world, and then people are like, yeah, but are they fucking though? Like, it's just like kind of people need to understand their boundaries or that sort of thing.
No, that one's definitely weird. And for like 99% of the time, whenever it comes to like, when it comes to like shipping real life people, 99% of the time I'm like, that's weird. But I do have like one exception to the rule that I'm like, I want to say no, but my Doki says yes, and it's I think some of you guys may already know, it's like Sea Dog VA, Connor from Trash Taste, and I think Iron Mouse, which is a VTuber.
I know Sea Dog, but I don't know who the other person is.
Yeah, it's a VTuber. I think he's from Puerto Rico, and you just watch. It's like a drug for me in that I watch those like 1 to 3 minute clips on YouTube where it just is taken from your stream, and I'm just like watching them just like bicker back and forth, but it's like a very wholesome bickering, and just like Iron Mouse is kind of a tsundere in real life, but it's very funny, especially since like whenever she's like starts insulting me in Spanish because she's Puerto Rican, it's like I want to like try to like they're just friends. This is not. It's weird to ship people in real life, even if one of them's a VTuber. But at the same time, like I ain't gonna say no though. It's so fucking weird. I'm like, I kind of want it to happen, but it's weird. But I want it to happen. I'm stuck. That's like the only exception I had to the rule.
One exception I had was I think Dean knows this one was when Disguised Toast and Choco Bars got together. Like there was like a whole video thing where it was like they're talking on stream.
I know about them. Yeah.
Well, for context, anyone that doesn't know, like these, if you are not familiar with online YouTube personalities, like Disguised Toast is one of the biggest video game content creators on the platform, and there's this video of him and this girl whose stream name is Choco Bars, and then they're like talking about on stream about things they like, and then the whole Joe's thing popped up where she mentions like, oh, like you, and then like, there's like silence, and then everyone was like, oh shit, it's cute as fuck, and that was when everyone was shipping them because there's like interest there, so we're like, okay, we feel good about shaping this now, and I came on my radar. I was like, oh shit, this is cute as fuck. Hope it happens. And that's
Well,
probably what
was it confession like on stream or something?
it was on stream. Yeah,
Was on stream.
I
yeah.
have mixed feelings
That,
though.
that's
That seems
that's
kind.
that's
That
one
seems kind.
that's one of the times where I did get involved in like, oh, let's ship these two personalities together.
Yeah, I don't know. It feels kind of weird. I don't know. I don't know if I like the idea of like I'm gonna just like confess in front of like thousands of people. You know?
She did it as like a flirting way.
Yeah.
Yeah, not
Yeah, I suppose.
It
It's
wasn't like a full like I have feelings for you, like let's talk about this thing. It was just like she's mentioned that she liked them as a flirtation, or if it was like a confession, um, you know, she just said that. It wasn't like she was like pouring out her feelings towards him or anything.
okay. Because one of my biggest pet peeves I remember when we were in high school was those giant confessions in front of like a crowd of people.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Or when you're like asking someone out to prom or something like that, or like whatever, like dance or military ball, and it's like I'm gonna ask you in front of a bunch of people, and I was just like, man, that's scum. That's fucking scum, bro. It's like asking like, because then you're putting all the pressure on the person that you're asking out, whether male or female, and you're like, okay, how are they gonna respond? Because you're pure pressure. You're gonna be like, I have to say yes. I'm gonna look like a bitch if I say no in front of this giant crowd of
Yeah.
people. So they say yes.
That's the thing. Like I've seen some of my friends do this too, and I don't think they're scum for doing it. I just think there were better ways to do what they did, and it's
Yeah.
like the promposals thing. I think in general is pretty fucking stupid because it's like if you want to ask someone to prom, just ask them privately, obviously. But it's like everyone's just trying to come up with like creative ways to one up the other people, the other couples that are going to prom together. It's like, what if you just want to go prom, like, and don't make a show out of it, That's one aspect I thought was kind of weird. And another aspect, yeah, like don't. What are you doing? Sorry. The other aspect is asking them out in front of people too, because I agree with this fully. Just like I remember one time, this upperclassman, I was a junior, who's like senior, and then he was, we were practicing honor guard, which is practicing using the sword for military ball.
Yeah.
And then he told us to meet up at I think it was break or something, and he was gonna ask his to be date to ask her out to prom using us as like a vessel, because I think she was like going to record us as a project, because I think her project was like, I'll make a documentary about RTC or some shit like that. And what happened was that she caught wind of that from someone else, so she didn't even show up in the first place. But he was gonna ask her to prom using us, cadets, as like, oh, we're gonna perform this ritual to have a creative way to ask you out, and you're gonna say yes or no in front of all these people who are just standing there with their swords. I thought that was like super fucking weird, and I was just like, what the fuck? Like,
We're gonna ask you out at a
Yeah.
threat of like swords. If you say no, we're gonna fucking stab you.
yeah. And then one of my close friends, he asked a girl out in front of everyone in RTC, and he brought flowers and everything. And then if we find out like after military ball, because he was asking her military ball, we find out after that she only said yes because she felt pressured because of everyone was staring at her, everyone at RTC was staring at her, and
Yep.
she didn't want to go in the first place. And then
Yep.
I love the guy, I still love him. He's still like one of my closest friends to this day. But that was just one of the things I was like, no, bro, that's not how you like maintain a good relationship with her.
Yeah,
And-
I know people do that because they're like, some people don't do that. Just go, oh, I'm gonna manipulate this person and make them
Yeah,
say
it's
yes.
more like they want to make like a grand gesture, right?
They want to make a
like they
grand
do-
gesture, and
they
they're
do
like have this like
rom-coms.
fantasy in their head, like, oh, this is gonna be great. She's gonna say yes, and then we're gonna hug, we're gonna embrace, and then everyone's gonna cheer, everyone's gonna clap, and
Yeah.
this is gonna be great. And then that may be like the fantasy inside their head, and like it's probably going to happen because
Like their intentions are good, but it's like, but yeah, they're not putting the other person in a very good spot, because with those eyes on you, you're having you're pretty much coercing her to say yes, because you have like some power over her in that situation, because
yeah.
she's the one who has to decide yes or no, and then that will affect how other people will see that. You see what happens. Yeah.
I always like imagined like in a hypothetical if I were like a girl, because normally it's like the girl that gets asked out in these situations. Maybe it's changed as we graduate from high school and people are more open to like girls asking guys out, which it
Mhm.
should. More girls ask guys out. That's I believe in equality.
Yeah.
And I always imagine if I were a girl and if a guy were to ask me out to prom or military ball in that kind of fashion, I'd be
Mhm.
like, I'd be so fucking upset. I'd be so angry. And I just like fantasize to myself, like, I'm gonna say no. Just from the simple fact alone that you asked me out in public in front of all these people. You wanna ask me out? Be a fucking man. And just go ask me in private on 1-on-1. Where there's like no pressure. If you're like
Yeah.
relying on this entire group of people to like pressure me into saying yes, I'm gonna say no. And I'm just gonna stop off. I always fantasize inside my head about that happening, but I'm like, obviously I can't do that because I'm not a high school girl and no one asked me out.
Hey, you know what? If we were to go back in time, I'd ask you out, Paul. Okay, just to make
Hey,
you,
nice.
Hey,
just to put you in that situation, so
You
you
know
can
what's
turn me
the worst
down.
part
Okay.
about all these in
What?
high school? They pick like the most inconvenient spot where you're trying to walk through your classes. Because I remember one time somebody asked us from the L building, you know, the other side of the L building near the pickup and drop
Mhm.
off. They blocked that
I think I know what the old
area.
buildings are. Yeah.
They blocked the area.
Damn.
They're asking somebody. I'm trying to get
They
to
they, they
class.
got people to block the area just so you can ask her.
You know, because there's like bystanders and stuff. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think it's like on purpose.
Yeah.
It's just like people
Oh,
like,
okay.
whoa, what's happening?
I
I want to see.
he got a bunch of people to like circle her, and she was like, "What
Nah,
the?"
nah,
like
nah. That's like
like a
weird.
fucking Pokemon game, like a Team Rocket shit. Like, yeah, you wanna
Yeah.
battle us. You wanna enter.
You wanna ask me out? You wanna take me to prom? You need to beat me in a Pokemon battle.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
You know,
I
I
got
think
you.
people
Oh,
just do
wait.
that naturally just because they're like, oh, romance. And, you know, we are talking about like romance anime before. Everyone's just like, I want to see. I want to see the romance.
Yeah.
And it just happens naturally.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, now that we're post high school, as we old people do,
Yes.
we don't have to worry about this as much. You know, like now that we're at this age, if we ask a person out, we don't like do it in a public spot full of other people around that knows who we are.
Mhm.
I'm gonna do it in dry land and grass and set off a bunch of fireworks. Bam.
You know what? I had this cringy idea at the same when I was like really young, when I was like probably in like elementary or like middle school, and this is like cringy ass idea. I'm like, you know, if I ever ask a woman to marry me, love of my life, I'm gonna get some fireworks, and I'm gonna have it shoot up into the sky out in public, and I wanted to say like, I wanted to spell out the words, "Will you marry me?" And I thought that was like that's the most romantic idea ever.
And then
Now that
she'd be like, "What? I can't hear you. There are fireworks going off."
no, legit the words out like the fireworks spell out like "Will you marry me?" Like you know how like fireworks make shapes.
Yeah, I know. Still,
Yeah.
she'll still say,
You're
"What?"
still like I can't hear you. I can. Someone's getting asked out. I can't. It's. I wonder who could it be? You know?
That's so
She's just like trying to like scoot away. That would be so fucking painful. But as I got older, I'm like, that's a fucking dumb idea. It was around the same a little bit. I think before around the same time where I realized like, man, asking people out in public with a bunch of people watching, that's kind of fucked up. And I thought like, man, this fireworks idea kind of fucked up. Let's not do that.
Yeah. I'm hoping that the people I know who did it in high school, like they know it's wrong now, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's just like one of those things where for me I was like, yeah, don't. I know this is like a little too much, and just when it comes to that stuff, just be private and then get their real answer, because like that one girl I mentioned with my friend, she that was one of the things that made her like resent him more, and then she didn't feel like that he was like a good person to see someone as that person for her later on.
Now-
And yeah.
Now let me put forward this question. And would you apply the same logic and rules when it comes to like a proposal and asking someone out for their hand in marriage? Would you apply that same rule if you just like asking in private?
Yeah. Well, yeah, of course.
Okay, so I'm gonna surprisingly my answer is like kind of different on it, but yeah, if you guys want to add in, I could kind of add in like why I kind of had that different reasoning, if that's okay with you guys.
Hey, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so it's my what once I've heard this rule about like when to ask someone out to marry you, it makes perfect sense to me, and that's why like all right, this is why it's probably like okay to do it in public, just because like if you're going to ask, because like I'm assuming in a perfect scenario, or not even like a perfect scenario, just like a normal scenario, when you're dating someone, you've known them for like at least a good or like a long time. Like you should at least have like moved in together at some point, like lived with each other and just like know like how this person ticks. Not like one of those like, oh, I just met this random person, I'm gonna ask him for marriage. Like no, you've known him for like months and years, and you're like know like pretty much almost every secret about how this person is and this person you're living with.
Uh-huh.
And obviously, for a successful relationship, you need to communicate. So you're probably gonna like, at this point, like after all these years, like probably talk like, I wonder if we should get what it'd be like to get married or having kids and all that like life stuff. And I think at some point you're probably gonna have that conversation, like ask like just hypothetically, just one day, just chilling together, like do you ever see us like getting married and like having kids together and starting a life? And they're probably like, yeah, probably. Like you have to. I'd say like in order to ask someone out to marry you, you have to be like at least 80% sure they're going to say yes, to like 90 to 100% sure they're going to say yes. And if you're around at like 90 to 100% sure they're going to say yes, I think that's the exception. Like, okay, it's 100% okay to ask them out for marriage in public because you already know the answer beforehand. Like, you're just doing like going on your knees and bring out the ring. It's just more like a gesture. It's just more like symbolic, really, because you already know they're going to say yes anyway. So there's no outside pressure. It doesn't even matter if it's like in public or private. They're going to say yes no matter what. You know. You get my reasoning there.
Yeah, but I still think it's preferable to just have it between you two. Like, I get the gesture, but I think it's just more intimate if you do it like with just the two of you.
Yeah, but that's more like personal preference, not so much.
Sure,
like,
but
not like so much like pressuring them. You don't have to worry about them like, oh shit, are they gonna say yes based on what people are watching? Because you already know the answer.
Sure,
you already talked about this before.
Sure, but I still think it's better if you just share amongst the two of you. It's just more intimate that way. Like you could make it like a gesture in front of everybody, even if you already know what the answer is going to be, like what it's most likely going to be. I still think it's better just to make it private, and then if you want to include other people, you need to have like their consent beforehand. If that makes sense, just know that this is something they're okay with.
I would talk it out first.
Yeah,
if she's okay with it, and then
I wouldn't do like a surprise public. When obviously not public, but with other people around, I wouldn't do it out of nowhere. I would need to make sure that they're okay with it at the moment too, because obviously the mood is important too, and
absolutely. But it just seems like maybe I'm still like kind of in that naive like space, like there's like some magical feeling that like when you surprise someone, like like for like a surprise birthday party or like whatever, like surprise, like some kind of party or celebration, like it feels nice to have that surprise pop up and you're like, oh shit. But yeah, I also get it, like it does feel nice for some people, for certain people, for things to be planned out. I'm just like wondering, like, would it be kind of weird just to like plan out, like, all right, I'm going to propose to you sometime this week?
No, not like that. Like, ask her if she's okay if like to propose for her on public.
Oh, in public or in private?
Yeah.
Or like either in public or with like friends around or whatever. Just
Oh yeah, no. I assume that's already in the equation when you're like communicating with each other while you're still just like dating. That's like already like pre-established.
It wasn't clarified for us.
Oh, my bad. My bad.
I thought you just like fucking all right, flashbang.
No. Like because I assumed like from what you guys are talking about, like when you're talking based on mood, like maybe like you already talked about before, and like yeah, I'd like to get married with you. Like yeah, I'm okay with like you proposing in public. But if it's like I've had a really shit day at the job, and then now all of a sudden you're like,
Will
I
you
know we,
marry
I know
me?
I
Will
said
make it
CDP
better if we
request,
get married.
and then now you're proposing to me like I just got back from like a 10-hour shift. I'm fucking tired. My boss was a asshole. All my coworkers like, man, they were fucking idiots. And now you propose to me out in like, I thought that's what you meant by like maybe like established beforehand about whether or not you're gonna propose. You know?
No.
Mm.
Be so
Yeah,
funny.
I thought that's what you guys meant by like mood.
My grandma died. Will you marry me though?
That'd be
You know
so
what? You
fucked.
what would make your grandma smile from heaven if we got married in 6 months? Yeah, yeah, it's a
Yeah,
good idea.
yeah, indeed.
No, how could you?
That was not the time.
What did I
But
do wrong?
you said
You
yes.
you said you'd be cool if I asked you in public. What do
We,
you want from
we
me?
talked about this.
Yeah.
Again, I thought that's what you guys meant by like the mood.
Yeah,
And
I mean, just make sure they're okay with it, like before you do it. Like, obviously, it doesn't have to be like, "Hey, so I'm thinking about proposing to you tomorrow. So, you cool if it's in public?" Just be like, "Hey, like before if you're ever talking about marriage, because obviously, you need to know you guys have a future together. If you guys,
yeah,
if you're gonna ask her out before, so
mm,
have that marriage talk at some point, which I think a lot of more couples are doing nowadays, which is cool, which is good because
yeah, indeed.
people like our age are going to marriage a lot more informed about like this is how this is a this is how we should approach like these steps, but yeah, just know what what they would be into and what's not.
I mean, that's like one like it kind of helps like more people in our generation and after it's like getting married later at older ages, like around 30s is when
Yeah,
people think of like
dating
marriage.
culture is a lot different for our generation for sure.
Yeah, indeed. And I think that's like one of the few benefits of like growing up in a shit economy. It's just like, oh, we kind of have to be forced to like wait on marriage, and with a shit economy, we become a little bit more jaded with life. So we're a lot more like picky and choosy about
Yeah.
who we're going
I mean,
out with.
it's also the fact that people are like know what they want more now because education, while it could be vastly improved on, is
Oh, definitely.
like the opportunities are more available than they were before. For people of color and whatever other and women too, of course. So with that, with those opportunities, they're more able to like pretty much have their own life before deciding to get married. Because before, what the man was expected to get a job and make the money, while the lady stays at home and cleans and everything. And you would marry into these families, and then if your husband's a shitty person, well, fuck, you're kind of stuck with them. Because it's hard for you to divorce back then. But now, like with divorce being a lot more available for unhappy couples, the woman is more able to leave that,
Or just
if
doesn't
they
get
want.
looked down upon as much. I
Yeah.
mean, divorce still gets looked down upon just because I think there's like the cultural stigma. Like even admittedly,
Yeah,
I have that too as well.
like what's wrong with you? Why did you get divorced? Is something wrong with you? Like, what did you do? It's like that. But
It's like, why didn't you do your homework beforehand before you got married about who you're doing it with? But I can't say
yeah,
because I've never been married, and my
well,
dating life is very
I
limited.
still have a stigma in the sense that I think when people get married, like right after high school, I think right after high school, I know it varies between like area to area. Like I know in more rural areas, that's much more the norm is to get
Yeah.
married after high school. But in our area, when I see people I know or vaguely know, or it's like a friend of a friend of a friend or whatever, I see them get married. I'm like, you a little too young to do that. You need to understand relationships more, but understand the other person a little bit more. Because I knew a person that got married
I
after
think
like
I think we're all thinking of the same person.
yeah, she got engaged after like being together with that guy for like 6 months. I'm like, I don't know about that. I think that's a kind of a premature decision to make. And I when I see that happening, I don't have the best faith that it's gonna end up well because statistics and all that, and also the fact that
Yeah.
you're young and dumb, right?
Yep.
Like it works for some people. Like we all have friends. Like we all have a friend that you guys both know that they were married after high school and they seem to be doing pretty well. They have kids now and everything. But
indeed.
they're more the exception than the norm,
It's a rare,
and
it's a rare like
Yeah.
occurrence.
Yeah. Like the high school sweethearts marrying out their high school thing, or even like getting out of high school and like marrying someone very soon that you don't really know. I don't think it's the best decision to make. Got to be a little more smart about it. But
Definitely, especially not in this economy, man.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah. It's just like seeing people I know just get married and stuff. It's wild because like I still think of myself as a rather young person, so seeing someone my age getting hitched is like, whoa, what the fuck? But also sometimes it's just like a premature call to make.
Indeed. I mean, yes, marriage in itself is just like expensive, depending like what kind of wedding you want to get.
Oh yeah, weddings fucking suck, bro.
Yeah.
Like just to like have like a normal one, and then if you wanna, I think if you wanna go like the fancy Hawaii wedding, all that stuff, like it adds up, like.
Because like you have to have enough food for the amount of people you're gonna invite, and for your standard family, it's like the uncles, cousins, um, friends, for and other people of the family, whatever.
Some
For
people
one person,
some people you've only met once in your entire life when you're like a toddler, and you're like,
yeah, all that, and then double that because there's two of you, and maybe like a coworker or your boss or some shit. I don't know. Like it adds up to feed all those people and to have like tables and arrangements, decorations, and everyone has to have a suit or some shit. Like
I hear in Japan in marriages that's like the norm. Like you like invite your company over to your wedding, like all your coworkers and stuff, and your boss.
yeah. I mean, it's like if you want to invite your coworker and boss, that's up to you. But I feel like you shouldn't be culturally forced to.
Yeah, definitely not. No.
It's an option. Not all of them. You have to invite.
Sure, but I feel like if you don't, though, they like look at you funny. At work, they're like, hey, how come you didn't invite us, huh? What's up with that?
Why didn't you invite me to your wedding?
I'm your boss. I've taken
like
care of you. I've taken care of you for the last 10 years. I'm your boss. What's up with that? Yep. Am I not good enough for your wedding? I think that's like a.
No, you're just.
No, you're think like a Nihonjin, Dean. You're too honest. You're too straightforward. You need to beat around the bush a little bit and not hurt their feelings.
No, I'm gonna say no. We're just boss and co-workers, all right? Nothing else.
That's what you think, but you're not born and raised in Japan.
Nice, then, hey.
But yeah, that I don't know. Like, it's just and on top of that, the wedding dress, depending on how fancy your girl is, like if she's like a fancy person and like nice clothes, that dress gonna cost you at least 1,000, at least. Like that, and she's only gonna wear it for one night. Your tux, you probably if you don't care about clothes, you can rent that shit. But all that shit adds up. Like weddings are fucking expensive, man. That's why I advocate
there's also
for
just a ring in of itself when you like propose. Like,
yeah, the proposal.
I want to get a fancy ass ring.
The proposal ring, and then you need a wedding ring on top of that too. So you're buying 2 rings.
Wait, what? They're not the same. Wait, they're not the same.
No, they're not. We've been through this. I'm pretty sure.
Look,
you buy. So what you do is that you buy a ring to propose to her, but that ring is only the proposal ring. So when you get the actual wedding ring, you need to buy a separate ring from that.
I heard the wedding ring is a lot cheaper than the engagement ring. Like the engagement ring is like the most expensive.
What?
Why is that?
Because of the fancy shit like diamonds. Cause
wouldn't you want the wedding ring to be the fancy one?
No, I don't think so.
What? I mean, I guess like the bigger rock for the proposal is like, hey man, this is how much I love you. I paid my entire kidney
my life
for this.
savings.
It's to like bait them, like, hey, I have money, marry me, please.
You guys probably told me this, but I'm just like too poverty to like. I'm like, nah, that's fucking crazy. There's no way. I don't. Yeah, no.
I'm just like the wedding culture is bullshit. My mind. Wedding culture is bullshit, man. And also wedding planners too. You have to hire them bitches to fucking like to organize all this shit too. Like they plan and talk to caterers. They all do all that shit. You pay them a shit ton of money to do that shit too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fucking wild, okay? I hate weddings. I said it. I fucking hate weddings. Alright? My wedding, if I ever have one, will be in Dean's backyard. we'll have King Egg Roll cater us, Eevee Panda cater us, alright? We'll have these local food places cater us. And the priest, ain't no priest. I'm an atheist, okay? Fuck priests. We just we just we get Paul to do the fucking marriage
Thing,
shit.
yeah,
Okay.
Oh shit, me?
Yeah, you do it, Paul. All right.
Damn,
if,
son.
if you're gone, I'll get Lil Ron to do it. I'll be funnier actually. I'm sticking with Lil Ron. Lil Ron will be the guy.
Alrighty. Sounds like a plan.
Yeah.
Yeah. All
So
right.
the engagement
We will have the
ring has
jacuzzi in the
rock.
backyard by then.
Yeah.
What's up?
The engagement ring has the rock, and then the wedding ring is just like a regular
A band?
Yeah, like a wedding band thing.
Okay. You know what? No wedding rings either. No proposal rings. Nothing. I will propose
Shit.
with a shrimp ball. Okay.
A strip ball.
and then instead of exchanging wedding rings, we'll exchange
Strip balls.
RuneScape figurine rings.
What if you don't even
Yes.
play RuneScape?
Oh, okay. We'll exchange our favorite copy of a Nintendo Switch game.
Okay.
Yes.
What if
That's-
you guys switch Joy-Cons?
True.
Ooh,
Like
very
we-
creative.
I have the red and blue neon ones. She has the gray ones, and we each give our right Joy-Con to the other person. That's romance right there, baby.
That's romance right there.
So the engagement ring is definitely the more expensive out of the two.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah, no, like joking aside, yeah, it's pretty bullshit. And I don't know how I'm not in tune with our generation enough to know how our generation feels about those type of weddings, but yeah, I think it's a ripoff. Like I think it exists just as a market to
It's a marketing
sell to
thing.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think I'd say that probably trend without looking at any like polls or anything like that. I probably just like assume or guess that our generation probably leans toward like, yeah, weddings are kind of BS. Obviously, that doesn't apply to everyone, but